Good morning, everyone. It's Sandy with Animal Education and Rescue. So glad to be with you here today. I'm going to take a minute or so before I start talking about what we're going to be focusing on in this live, just so that we can get some people on board. And this is Willow, by the way, and Willow is right now rubbing herself up against the wall, and she's doing that with her cheek, and actually she's doing that because she's leaving her scent on the wall. And Willow's leaving her scent on the wall because she hears the other cat in the other room, and she is saying, "This is my space, not yours." So we're going to get started in a minute. I'm hoping some people join us. I see one person has. If you wouldn't mind just saying hi so I know that you can hear me okay. Again, this is Willow, and she's leaving her scent on the door because she's saying, "This is my space," and I hear the other cat meowing, and I don't like it so much. Willow loves dogs and loves rabbits. She's not so fond of cats. I'll introduce you as long as we're waiting a minute. This is Iris, and hi, baby. Iris, somebody's coming to, Mary Jo's coming to see you any minute. She's going to take you for a walk. So this is Iris, and Iris is a German Shepherd. Was left outside to live for 2 years of her life since she was a puppy, and then the owner left for work, quote, work, for 2 weeks, and left her and the other dog outside to kind of fend for themselves. We went as an investigators and rescued her, and unfortunately she's heartworm positive, so she has to be on limited exercise for the next actually 3 months. So that's Iris. Okay, I see 5 people have joined. Oh, Abby says hi. Hi, Abby. Let's see who else says hi. So I'm assuming that Abby can hear me okay. And we're gonna start heading in this direction. This is the hallway of the office, and you can see we have lots of supplies, random supplies that we have to keep in the hallway because we have limited storage area. So here's Sweetie, and she is the inspiration to this particular live. And I encourage you to, as you listen to this live, I've got a lot to cover in not a lot of time. And so if you have questions, if you wouldn't mind saving the questions or comments till I say, "Does anybody have any questions or comments?" Just simply because it's distracting for me to answer questions mid-sentence, and then I get kind of off track and blah, blah, blah. So I'd be so grateful if you do that. So we have now 8 people that have joined me, and here's 9. Yes, Sweetie, we're going to talk about you. We're going to talk about you, girlfriend. She's not too happy right now, and she's pretty vocal. And I'll tell you why and what's going on with her. And here are the 2 birds in the office. This is Quincy and Tutu. And they live in the office, and they have full run of the office to go wherever they choose. They are used to animals coming and going from the office, and flying around where they feel like it, and the animals get used to it, and then the animals leave and find new homes, and the birds stay, and they guard the office. So anyway, so here is Sweetie. I know, baby. I'm going to come say hi to you, okay? So Sweetie actually was adopted out about 6 weeks ago. She came to us as a stray, and sorry, it's going to be shaky while I climb over the gate. And so Sweetie came to us as a stray, and she was so sweet, thus the name Sweetie, that within 10 days of being in a foster home, she got adopted out. And the family that adopted her, it's a man and a woman, and the boyfriend of the 2, these are adults, a long-term live-in boyfriend, actually has cancer and is on chemotherapy, and they thought that having a cat would be really good therapy for the husband as he goes through the chemotherapy and gets help and so forth. And so it was a great idea, and Sweetie came along after 10 days, and they swooped her up and adopted her. So that's how that all happened. And what happened, we got an email from the new owner just a couple, 2 or 3 days ago, saying that Sweetie was peeing all over the house, and what should she do? And we gave her a bunch of different tips. Actually, the former foster mom did. Here, I'm gonna get some bird seed for these birds so they stop squawking. Hang on. Wait. Come here, baby. Let me get you some food. Hold on. Let me fill this up for them so they stop squawking. Hold on. And by the way, the birds are parrots, and they get way more than seeds. They get human food every day. They have their breakfast. You can see it right there. They still have some breakfast left. So they don't just get seeds. For those of you that are big parrot lovers, don't worry. Don't worry. We don't just give them seeds. Seeds are just a treat, and you know, birds need to have regular food. Anyway, so back to Sweetie. So they contacted us a couple days ago and said that she was peeing all over and on walls, and you know, not where she should be peeing. And we made some suggestions, the foster mom did. And then yesterday morning, I believe it was, we got a desperate text message from her saying they can't handle it anymore, and that they either need to give her back to us or they need to bring her to a shelter because they cannot handle it anymore. I don't know, in all honesty, what of the suggestions that Elise suggested that they tried. And certainly there were a lot of other things that could happen. Oh, and they're not happy with each other. See, that's Willow, who normally doesn't live with cats and doesn't like cats, with Sweetie, who is now growling at her. Oh, Sweetie, come on, this is not your space. This is actually Willow's space. She's sharing it with you. So you need to be nice. No, don't you be the aggressor. Not acceptable. Oh, stop. Seriously, you two. This is all a very pleasant, peaceful place that we have here. Yes, that's better. Thank you for listening to me. No, we're not growling. I'm going to stand right in front of your eyes so that you can't look at Willow. Anyway, so the foster mom unfortunately said they could not take her back. And so I was kind of stuck with figuring out where the heck Sweetie is going to go. I knew that even though they had said that they were going to, you know, if we didn't take her, they would bring her to another shelter. No shelter would take her. I can guarantee you that. And the only place they would have been able to drop her off is at animal control. And then her future is pretty doomed as far as that goes. So I think we need to not hold judgment against these people. Everybody has their threshold of what they're able and willing to deal with. The man has cancer. He's going through chemotherapy. That is a huge, huge, huge challenge. And they did not anticipate or sign up for having a cat that peed all over. You or I may choose to make wise decisions as far as, you know, how to solve the problem. But I can completely understand that their focus is on him getting better. So let's not hold judgment against this couple, and let's just concentrate on what we can do for Sweetie. So Sweetie came in, and the first thing I did was I thought, where am I going to put her? Because I need to isolate her to find out what kind of litter box issues we're dealing with. When she was in our care before, when she was here in the office, actually, ironically, in the same space she is now, she was not peeing. Why are you being fussy? Willow, seriously, you two stop. Hold on, let me just close the door because I'm distracted by this growling and fussing the two of them are doing with each other. So I'm going to close the door. That way they can't do that anymore. Anyway, so I had to I knew that we had to figure out why she was peeing outside the box. When she was in the office the first time, she did not pee outside the box. And in her first foster home, the foster mom did what you're supposed to do when you get a new cat, and that's to isolate it in a small space so that it can get used to the environment, can get used to the other animals in the house, through smelling each other underneath the door, and also through hearing the sounds and sights of the house in a confined, safe space. Make sure that the cat is going potty in the litter box. And then over a period of time, you give them access to the whole house. So Sweetie was only in her foster home for 10 days, so she only had access to their bathroom, and then she got adopted. So in the bathroom, within the first 24 hours, she did pee on the dog bed in the bathroom that they had for her, and they threw it out, and there was a bath mat in the bathroom, and she did not pee on the bath mat or anything else after that. So it was just the one time when she first arrived. And we also have to understand that with dogs and with cats, with any animal that is adjusting to a household, sometimes there could be accidents. So the fact that she peed in the dog bed the first day or first 24 hours is not something to be alarmed by. Does that make sense? I hope so. Anyway, so when Sweetie was coming back, I had to find a place for her to go. I have no open foster homes, and certainly I don't have a foster home open where somebody says, yes, I'm raising my hand. I will take a cat that pees all over and outside the box. So I knew I was kind of stuck with her. I hope you all could hear me over this. This is their morning, singing. So just try to hear me over their singing, okay? All right, so what did I do? So I made a small space for Sweetie so that she could acclimate and I could kind of monitor her potty issues. And so fortunately for her and for we only had a small space available. We didn't have a big space, so it wasn't an option anyway. So initially I set up this dog crate for her, and I have a dog bed in here, or cat bed in here, and I have this litter box that you see right here. I have the litter box in there. You guys, seriously, stop. I had the litter box in there, and I also had the food and water in there as well. But she came and we put her in there and she was a mess. She was so upset to be in there that I thought, okay, all right, plan B. I could still make the space small. You could see where everything is. It's a very small space. It's the size of a bedroom. You could see, I know it's dusty. The dust is from the birds. Birds are very dusty animals. So you could see the room is really pretty small. But I had an issue because this is one of the offices, is that Willow has access of both offices as well as the bathroom. So I had to make the space so that they can both be in there because I knew Willow does not like cats and I had no idea about Sweetie and I needed to isolate her anyway. So thus I created a smaller space by putting up this pen, and I just crossed my fingers that neither one of them would jump over. I knew that Willow wouldn't because she's elderly and she has heart failure and she's not going to jump this fence. But I didn't know about Sweetie. So, so far it's worked out really well. I've kept this dog crate in here, although I'm probably going to end up taking it out. Now I had to say, okay, what do I do about litter? So when you have a cat, my theory always, my rule, I guess always, is if you have one cat, you have 2 litter boxes. 2 cats, 3 litter boxes. 3 cats, 4 litter boxes. Why? Because you need to give your cat options of where to go potty and what kind of litter and litter box to use. So what I did is I set up 1 litter box for Sweetie, and you could see, yay, she peed in the box. So that's awesome. We wanted to see that would happen. I just came into that this morning. So we'll talk about litter box habits as well as cleaning the litter box in a minute. So this is with litter that actually she came with. This is the litter they were using. I have no idea whether they've tried different litters or not. So I want to see does it matter what litter she uses? Will she be more fussy about different kinds of litter? So this is the litter that was in this litter box. Then I set up a totally different kind of litter box. This is the litter box. This is a litter box with a lid and with stairs. It's fancy schmancy. Let's see if she went potty in it. Nope, she did not. Okay, so I set up this litter box and I put this litter in it, which is a different style of litter, a different brand. Okay, they're both scoopable cat litter, but they're different brands. So now I need to experiment. Is she going to stay peeing in the litter box? Now I'm going to look in here. I haven't yet. Did she pee in the dog bed or cat bed? Okay, it actually, I'm smelling it, by the way, everybody. That's why I'm being quiet. Oh, I think she did. Okay, so pew. Yep, she peed in the dog or the cat bed. All right, that's what that is right there. So what's really important is that I clean it very well. Now, I'm doing everything one-handed because, of course, I'm holding the phone. So I gotta wipe my hand off because I touched the pee. And actually, you can probably see a little bit of pee right there. See it? Where it dripped off. So this cat bed, as far as I'm concerned, is something I'm gonna be throwing out. Cat urine is really hard to get out of anything. Okay? So now I know that for right now, Sweetie has to have bare bottom. She cannot have a cat bed in her space. All right, so we know that if she were in a home, we got a serious situation. You guys get to see me cleaning close up. We know that we have to not give her anything soft. So, you know, certainly we can give her a towel or like rags that is easily thrown out. But in my opinion, once they pee on a dog bed or a cat bed, it's not worth saving because it is really hard to get it out of. Even if you wash it many, many times, cat urine is really hard to get rid of. Okay, so she's lost her privileges to have anything soft and cushy in her space. I'm also going to get rid of this dog crate because clearly it's not working for her. So we know that she does go in the litter box. One thing I can tell you about Sweetie too is cats that have an issue with going potty outside the box oftentimes are emotional animals. They're not easygoing at all. And they have some anxiety issues, and they're actually showing how anxious they are by their potty habits. And I think we can all relate to that. We know that if we have dogs in the house, if a dog is being upset or spiteful, they could mark in the house, they could go potty in the house. We also know, believe it or not, other species, including human beings, sometimes can have potty problems if they're emotionally distressed. Children that have a lot of dysfunction in their family, maybe there's sexual abuse going on, they will oftentimes have urinary problems. They'll wet their bed, they'll have urinary tract infections, things like that. So it's not uncommon for us to utilize, meaning us, meaning anything living, to utilize our defecation in a way that expresses how we feel. So, does anybody have any questions so far? Hi, Jan. Hi, Joy. Isn't she a beautiful cat? All right, so I'm gonna try to really break this all down for you. So please hang tight as I continue kind of chipping away at this. Okay, so when you have a cat, you also want to be mindful of the type of litter that you are using. Now, we know that she used this litter box. Okay, so she went to the bathroom in this litter box. We know she did not in this litter box. We just need to make note of that. When you have a cat that's having litter box issues, if they go potty in their bedding or anything, throw it out. Get rid of it. Clean the area very, very well. I'll clean it even better once I get off live. Of anywhere that they did go potty, okay? Talk to your friends, talk to your fellow cat people, review, research different products that work better than others. I am not knowledgeable about that particularly. What I used this time was actually essential oils. This is actually Thieves, which is a Young Living type of product. That's what I used this time. I cannot attest to whether that's better than something else. I like the smell of it, and it's non-toxic. It's good for the animals. It's not going to hurt them, and it's certainly not going to hurt the birds. So that's why I use that here. The other things you want to think about, I think I touched on it earlier, you want to think about not only how many litter boxes you have, but what kind of litter boxes. So here we have a small one that has litter with no lid, and here we have a fancy schmancy big one with a lid and stairs that go up. There is a million different kinds of litter boxes. If you're having litter box issues, play detective. What is working? What boxes are they going in? Okay, really important. Obviously, this cat is stressed out. Now, the home that she was in, now she did not have any accidents here in the office when she was here the first time for the first 3 or 4 days. And she had one accident the first day in the bed, similar to this, that the foster mom had. She took it out and she didn't have any more accidents. Okay. So, by the way, I'm going to kind of regress a little bit and say that one of the things you need to do, and in the case of this cat, I think is also the case, is you need to check with your veterinarian and see if there's something going on medically with the cat. Now, the fact that the cat, that Sweetie went potty in the litter box and potty in her bed, my guess would be is that it's behavioral. But, come here, Sweetie. Come here, baby. Come here, Sweetie. But a couple things I want to note to you is that Sweetie's a little thin, a little skinny, and she shouldn't be by this time, and it has nothing to do with the previous owners. I'm sure they fed her well. I know they did, because here's some of the food they gave her. There's lots more that they gave her as well. But when she came, she also had poo matted by her butt. She has long hair, and the first thing we did was shave that area. Come here, Sweetie. Come here. We shaved that area because it stunk, and that can sometimes cause a cat to behave inappropriately as far as litter box issues goes. So she definitely needs to be brushed, and she needs her potty area, meaning the area where her, her butt is, and her pee-pee area needs to be kept clean. And being that she's long hair, that can sometimes be an issue, and she would need to be groomed or shaved. But it is not out of the question for us to check and see with the vet, get an exam, and maybe get a urinalysis to see if she has a urinary tract infection. It is not off the table. Typically, urinary tract infections, the symptoms are squatting to urinate numerous times, blood in the urine, going potty outside the box. Those are all things that could cause, that could give you kind of a clue that there might be a urinary tract infection. Of course, that's not an absolute. So how do you get a urine sample? Well, you can either get it in an empty box, but what I do, because it makes my life easier, is I just have them get urine through a needle into their bladder. Costs a little bit more money, but certainly it's a heck of a lot easier for someone like me who's very, very busy. So we will definitely get her to the vet for an exam and for urinalysis to rule out any urinary tract infection. If it's a urinary tract infection, that would be actually a blessing, because then we're dealing with a physical problem not a emotional problem. Okay, so anyway, let's assume that it's not a physical problem and it's an emotional problem. Then we need to make sure that not only do we have enough litter boxes, not only do we experiment logically and meticulously with different types of litter and litter boxes, but that we also think about, where is the cat having accidents? Is it on bedding? I have cats, unfortunately, still don't know who's doing it, who was going potty on beds. Don't you love it? On beds. So now we got cheap shower curtains, and the cheap shower curtains go on top of the beds, and that eliminates the peeing on the beds. They don't do it anymore. Whoever was doing it doesn't do it anymore. So you want to think outside the box, pardon the pun. And you want to see, is it soft bedding? My first cat I ever had, his name was Pumpkin. He was an orange, long-haired tabby that I got from Orphans of the Storm. Got him as a very, very sick baby kitten. That was, gosh, back in 1989 or 1990. Anyway, he would pee in dirty clothes piles all the time. So what was the solution? Pick up the dirty clothes, put it away, put a lid on the laundry basket. That's how I was able to solve it. So sometimes you're going to solve a problem, and sometimes you're going to manage a problem, depending on where and how they're going potty, in the wrong places. If you have a cat that's going potty in plants, you might have to move the plants where the cats can't get to them. Meaning, if they're going potty in the soil of the box, of the planter. You can also put strips of tin foil in the planter. Strips of tin foil sometimes work really well if a cat's going potty on couches or whatever. But bottom line is, if you find your cat is going potty outside the litter box, the first thing you need to do is you need to confine them in a small space. That is hugely important. That's the first step. They need to be confined to a smaller space with a litter box, or depending on how big the space is. Like this size room, you all can see, is not a very big room, but I have 2 litter boxes in it. And you want to make sure that you keep a journal of what litter you're using, what litter boxes, what's working, what are they peeing in, what are they not peeing in. The room needs to be somewhat bare. Don't bother with dog beds. I did that on purpose, actually, that cat bed. I keep calling it a dog bed, I'm sorry. But I did that on purpose. I put that in there because I knew that one of the issues was that she was peeing in her cat bed, and so I wanted to see if she was going to do that here, and sure enough, she did. So now that's going to go away until she can be trusted. So then what you do is, after you, again, keeping a journal, you want to also see, is that solving the problem? Is the cat now not going potty outside the box in a small space? Is it better? Well, if it's better, then what we want to do is we want to slowly give the cat more access to the house. So when you're home and you can watch your cat and your cat can be with you, then the cat can be outside the room, and lots of praise, lots of attention, and then when you get ready to leave, then the cat goes back in the cat's room. Maybe give it something yummy to eat. That way it doesn't associate something negative to you leaving, and then you leave. And again, over a period of time, if that's going really well, 2 thumbs up, then the cat can maybe have access to maybe 2 rooms. Keeping in mind that if there's accidents outside the box, then we reel them in and they go back in the room. The other thing you can also think about is that there is anti-anxiety or anti-depression medicine that's used for humans that is actually used for cats as well. and can be a very, very good tool for a cat that goes to the bathroom outside the box. I have heard really good things about it. So as far as Sweetie is concerned, that is definitely down the line something we would consider is an antidepressant. There's also pheromones, which are like you plug them into your wall and it's supposed to give off some natural pheromones that help to calm a cat. That is, I've heard some people say can be helpful. I have not had any personal experience with it that's been successful. You can also look into holistic type things. I am confident that there is essential oils that probably help to calm a cat, and that would probably be diffused in a diffuser. And so I would also look into that as well. I am not that well versed in essential oils, but I'm sure you can find somebody that is, or somebody that's here watching this knows about essential oils, you know, something that could calm a cat. When a cat goes potty outside the litter box, they are stressed out. They are telling you off. They are telling you they're not happy. It could be if you get a new cat in the house. It could be if you get a dog in the house. It could be if there's a new baby in the house. Any kind of changes could stress a cat out. And that's where you have to anticipate, if you all have cats that are watching this, anticipate that there could be problems before there is a problem. And so what can you do in that case? You want to try to avoid, be proactive instead of reactive. So what does that mean? Make sure you have enough litter boxes. Make sure that you have, if you have one cat, you have at least 2 litter boxes. If you have multiple levels to your home, maybe you want to have a litter box on in the basement and on the first floor. If you have 2 cats, you want 2 litter boxes. If you're getting a new cat in the family, you want to make sure that new cat stays in a room by itself, possibly for an extended period of time, so the cats can slowly get used to each other. What is extended period of time? That could be anywhere from a week to a month to 6 months. See how the cats behave behind the door when they're sniffing each other underneath the door. See how they behave when they see each other behind a baby gate. Are they hissing? Are they growling? Are they unhappy? Are their ears back? Do they seem angry? Are their eyes dilated? You know, what is going on? You want them to be nice and relaxed and comfortable when they see each other. You don't want them looking stressed out or unhappy or angry. Because if that's the case, then it's not time for them to live together. They still need to be separated. If you're having a baby, really important. If there's a baby coming into the home, you need to make sure to have all of those baby items that you're going to start collecting, and make sure that you feed the cat around the baby items. So give them a spoonful of canned food by the baby crib, by the changing table. You want to make sure to make those things that make noise, like the rockers. Rock it and then give the cat a treat. Get the cat accustomed to all these unusual noises and things that look strange to them. Have them see it and associate it as something good. When the baby's born, make sure that first night that you take whatever blanket that child was wrapped in and make sure that you bring it home so the cat can smell it. And feed the cat near the item. Again, they're seeing, oh, this is a good thing. This child, I smell this. What is this? And then the child comes home and the child still has that same smell. And make sure that cat is included in the changing the baby and feeding the baby, and that the cat gets attention and love and affection. Anytime the baby's around, include that cat. If you don't and you exclude the cat because you're too busy or you don't take the time or whatever it is, or you're distracted, do know that you're going to have a better chance of that cat going potty outside the box because they're upset. New puppy in the house, same thing. New animal in the house. Give your cat their own space. Regardless, make sure that they have their own little area where they have their litter box and their food and their water and their special toys and their bed and maybe their cat tower. Also, another thing that's really important with cats is they need to be adequately stimulated. So cats that are indoor cats, which is something we are proponents for, there's too many dangers in letting a cat outside. We need to make sure our cats have lots and lots of space and place for them to explore and look at. So in my cat area at the orphanage, we have cat towers that are up against windows, so the cats can look out the windows. We have so many toys. We have interesting boxes that have cuts in them, that have little doors the cats can go crawl into. We have different dog beds. We have things of different levels and different sizes, and we have tunnels they can go through and things to stimulate them. It's important to keep a cat active and interested and excited about life. You know, they're living inside, and it's a different kind of lifestyle. Imagine if you could never go outside. You need to make sure that that cat has enough stimuli inside the house so they're excited and happy. That will help as well. Keep in mind, again, anytime a cat has behavioral issues with going potty outside the box, they are telling you they are unhappy. So, do you have enough litter boxes? Do you have the right kind of litter? Do you have the right kind of space? Does your cat have lots of fun toys and levels of things they can climb on? And can they look outside windows? Are they receiving adequate love? When you're getting a new family member, whether it's a cat, a dog, or a child in the house, are you making sure to include that cat in the family? Making sure to include them in what's going on. Also, a couple other things to make note of is that sometimes cats miss the litter box. Now, this is a small litter box, and she surely didn't miss it. She did go potty in it. But sometimes you want to have a bigger litter box, maybe a litter box with a lid on it, or a litter box with a tall lip around it. Or some people put pee pads around the litter box if sometimes their cat misses the litter box or goes next to the litter box. So pee pads are pretty common in the animal or the cat world. Would be another option, but keep in mind, once you start using pee pads, the cat could get accustomed to going in the litter or going in on the pee pads. So just keep that in mind as you move forward. If that's something you want to do, you might be creating a new habit. Rather than, maybe you want to start with getting a bigger box, or a box with maybe a box that they can, like, it's cut out in the front of it where they can step right in, and that it's, just try different types of boxes. You see, I have two very radically different boxes here for Sweetie, and we're going to work on that with her. I'm going to actually remove this cage. Now, if you have a cat that is radically going potty all over the place, spraying the walls, spraying items, spraying you, whatever it is, then I would go, obviously, to the vet. The vet is always your first friend to make sure that there's nothing physically going on with the cat. And then after that, in the case of a cat that's really being naughty, is I would go right to medication. Talk to your vet about starting medication to kind of ease that stress, ease that tension with that cat, and then work on, always with or without medication, work on some, modifications in the space that the cat is living in. Really important. And I promise you, if you follow some of these rules, these guidelines, and if you're proactive even before you have litter box issues, you will have a much better situation. You could essentially avoid all litter box issues. And certainly, Tutu, certainly, if you are having litter box issues, there are so many tools in the tool chest that you can try. But keep a journal, write things down. What have you tried? What haven't you tried? And know that not everybody is going to be as faithful to kitty cats as you are, or you are to your cats. And that everybody has their threshold of what they're willing to deal with. So what I'm hoping is in doing this live is to educate people on how can they be proactive to ensure that their cats do not have litter box issues. Oh, very important point that I don't want to miss is make sure that you clean those litter boxes. Clean them every day. At the orphanage, we clean litter boxes twice a day, minimum. So that way they have clean potty places. How would you like to have a dirty potty place where you go? I know you wouldn't like that. So I know our kitty cats don't like that. They want a clean space to go potty. Really, really important. So clean those litter boxes. The most popular litter is scoopable cat litter, like that. Sorry for the shakiness, but scoopable cat litter, that is the best kind to have as far I think, but you may have a cat that prefers the kind that isn't scoopable, that you have to change the whole thing. And keep in mind there is a million different kinds of cat litter. A million different kinds. Here in this one little room, you could see 2 different kinds of cat litter. So keep that in mind. There are lots of different kinds and lots of different price ranges and quality of cat litter. So look at that as well. Keep a journal, keep a journal, keep a journal. If you're having a cat with litter box issues, keep a journal so you know what you've tried and what you haven't tried. What litter boxes have you tried? What cat litter have you tried? What places in the house are you putting the cat litter boxes? Where are you finding the potty accidents? Where in the house? Is it in potted plants? If that's all it is, strips of tinfoil. If it's on beds, close those bedroom doors. Don't let the cat in the bedroom. And or in our case, like we put shower curtains on the beds. Once we put the shower curtains on the beds, the cats no longer go potty on them. Yay! Give them limited access to the house. Small space. So, okay. I think I gave you a bazillion different tips and ideas, and you get to see this absolutely gorgeous cat that I am determined to get better about going potty in the litter box. You hear that, sweetie? We are going to get you better about the litter box, and we're going to get you adopted, kiddo. We are going to get you adopted. She's still pretty stressed out from being moved again, but she'll settle in. All right. Any questions? Questions, anybody? Questions? Thoughts, ideas, something I didn't cover, something I didn't talk about that maybe you thought of. If you know any homeopathic ideas to relieve stress for a cat that you know you've tried and has worked for you, tell me about that. Tell us about that. Anything else? While I'm waiting to see if anybody types anything. Oh, you're welcome, Jan. I'm glad that was helpful. While we're waiting to see if anybody else has any questions, we are leaving. I'm leaving shortly. Shush! Tutu! Shh! Stop. By the way, did you know parrots are really smart? They're super smart. And you know they can live 75 years. The parrots in here are 30 years old. Pretty amazing, huh? Anyway, so we have to do an investigation at 11:30. It's in the area. It's 2 Labradors that are living in a garage in crates. So that ought to be interesting. So we're going to do that later today. Tomorrow, Manor Care Nursing Home from 2 to 3 in the afternoon. We're going to visit the residents with animals. And in the morning at 8:30, I am going to be playing hostess for what's called a turkey trot here in Libertyville. Somebody is doing a fundraiser for us where they're doing a walk/run, and we're going to be part of that, and all the proceeds will benefit us. So if you're looking for something to do on tomorrow morning, look at our website. The information is there. Okay, Sue wants to know, did you hear about the bird who was ordering Alexa around? No, I don't know who Alexa is, and no, I didn't hear about a bird. I don't know anything about that. Anyway, Any other questions? All right, because pretty soon I have to leave. I've got a volunteer here that's walking the dogs, and I'm going to show her what else needs to be done to clean up around here. And you all send really good vibes to Sweetie. Please tell her that she needs to use the litter box so this doesn't happen again, that we want her to get adopted. We don't want her to be stressed out. We're going to have her checked at the vet to make sure it's nothing medical, although I doubt it is. I have a feeling it's behavioral, but I don't know for sure. And by the way, if you notice this cage, that's rabbits. I'm not rabbits. Rabbits are dirty too, but birds are really dirty animals. And when they poo, their poo is like glue. It's very, very difficult to clean. So if you're thinking about getting birds, keep that in mind. Dirty animals. They're wonderful for the right people. Obviously, we have 2 of them, but they're a lot of work, and they're dirty. All right. I don't see any other questions, so I'm hoping maybe I covered everything. And so, anyway, I'm going to get off now. You get to see her cleaning her little paw. That's one of my favorite things, is to see a cat cleaning themselves. So cute. What a good girl. And you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day, a wonderful holiday weekend, and stay in touch, keep in touch, and please, please share this video far and wide. Let's get more people educated about how to be proactive with their cats so their cats don't have litter box problems, and also to help keep more cats in their homes and not given to shelters or thrown out of the house because they potty outside the box. All right. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.